is Erica Walter, coming to you from Foothills, Alberta. In this series, AI Ability, I dive into some AI tools for beginners, how they have helped me spend less time at a laptop, and how possibly they can help you. In this episode, I'm going to explore how artificial intelligence image generation is revolutionizing the way that we create and visualize different concepts. Among the many tools available, Midjourney stands out for its ability to produce stunning visuals from detailed prompts. Whether you are a designer, an artist, or a professional looking to enhance your projects, understanding how to use Midjourney can be incredibly beneficial. I will guide you through the process of opening up a Midjourney account, signing up, linking your Discord, and creating some amazing prompts. We will explore different types of prompts, including those for artwork, repeating patterns, architectural sketches, and other creative applications. You are going to need both a Discord and a Midjourney account to be able to utilize Midjourney. To create a Discord account, if you don't already have one, you're going to need to go to the Discord website. You'll find that at discord.com, and there you're going to need to sign up. Discord is completely free. You can download on a desktop over a web browser or as a mobile or desktop app. You do need to have a verified Discord account, which means you need to verify with a phone number and an email before you can join the Midjourney Discord server. Then you're going to head over to the official Midjourney website, which is at www.midjourney.com. You're going to sign up by clicking on the sign up button and fill out the required details, including your name, email address, phone number, and a secure password. Verify your email. After signing up, you're going to receive a verification email. Click on the link provided to verify your account. Then you're going to sign into Midjourney using your verified Discord. And after that, you'll choose a subscription plan. Go to Midjourney, and you're going to want to sign up. It's going to ask you to continue with Discord. So over there, you go to Discord, and this is where you verify your account. You'll have to sign up and join. And once that is done, I already have an account. So once you've created your Discord account, you'll go back to Midjourney and click continue with Discord and then accept the invite. This will bring you to your page. And from here, you're going to want to go over here to Midjourney, and you'll want to create your own server. So this is how you add a server. You're going to want to go to create my own for me and my friends. And then you'll just want to put a name on it and create. Once you've created your server, I've already got it on this one, which is my Midjourney server, but I'm going to just do a second one to show you. So we want to go to my server, and when you click on it, this menu will come up. You want to go to add your first app, check it out, type in Midjourney bot. This should come up. It should say Midjourney bot at the top. Click on it. Click on add app. Add to server, to my server, and continue. Authorize. And then go to my server. And then if you type a / in the bottom bar, you can go to settings. So type into settings, and it'll come up here on the Midjourney bot. And here you can enter, and it will give you settings to set your stylization, variation, remix, and then the mode that you're going to be in. I have a lower tier subscription, so I have fast mode as an option selected, and on this one, let's try a low stylization. The lower the stylization, the less detail on a certain prompt, whereas the higher stylized is going to be a lot more detail, and the AI is going to be a lot more creative. It is public mode, as I don't have the pro tier or the top 2 tiers, so anyone can see these. And let's try a prompt from here. If you've had trouble here, Midjourney does have some really great help pages on these steps if you got lost. So just check them out or message them for support. You can go to the Midjourney website and they will help you, or you can access support through the Discord channel. Creating a server that you can access on the left side lets you generate images without having to see everybody else's images first. And now that we've joined Midjourney server in the Discord, we can generate our first image. It's better to select your settings first, which I did. So when you come down to that chat box after you've added the Midjourney bot into your server, you type a / and you choose the settings. From there, make sure Midjourney 6 is selected, and then you can just dismiss the menu when you're done selecting your settings. Come back to the chat section and type another / and this time choose the Imagine option when it pops up, like we just did over here. Then this is going to let you type in the whatever idea that you want for the image. The same elements for creating prompts are going to apply here that I discussed in previous episodes. So make sure you provide the AI with detailed instructions on what you want to create. For this prompt, I tried a detailed fantasy landscape. So the prompt that I used was create a detailed fantasy landscape featuring towering mountains, a crystal clear lake, and a mystical forest. Include vibrant colors, realistic lighting, and intricate details. So what you generally get back are 4 generations of the image. Those should sort of give you some new controls at the bottom once it's done. And this button on the right will regenerate all of the images. So if you don't like anything that it has generated, you can try that. Or you can go to the buttons here on the top or the bottom. The top buttons that I'll start with you are to upscale the image, and they correlate to the images on the screen. And the bottom ones are a version 1, version 2, version 3, and so on. And so for those, if you click those, it's going to go back and regenerate one of those images. So for version 4, and it'll generate 4 new versions based on the one that you selected. So they're not all going to be different. They're going to be just versions of the one that you liked. You can see this is the one we selected. And these are 4 similar with slightly different sort of stream patterns and slightly different mountains in them. From here, if you like one, you can select it and then upscale it, and that's the top 4 buttons. If you don't like any of them, you can try another generation. If you don't like them at all, you can go back into your settings, which is / settings, and you can try adjusting enter. If you want a higher stylized option, you can set it like that, and then you would go back in and enter your same prompt. So what I'm going to do is I'll run the exact same. You can dismiss the settings once you've set them, but I've asked for a higher stylization. So I'm going to put this exact same prompt in, and don't forget to put the Imagine prompt and then put your prompt into that text box. There we go. So that's the same prompt that we used before, but asked for a higher stylization in the settings. And we'll see what Midjourney gives us with that. So with that initial prompt, there's a lot that we can do to get better images. We re-up the settings, and it's generated this. You can see how much more detail this is going to have than the previous generation or the very initial one with the 3. It's also kind of gotten a little bit, maybe a little bit more moody. So that's part of what the AI is going to do. It's going to be more creative. If you don't specify daytime or nighttime, it may change that on its own. So that's kind of a few ways that we can make prompts into better images or get a little bit more creativity if we don't know exactly what we want. Raise the settings so that you increase the stylization. So I've put a prompt in here for sort of a surreal portrait. And enter. And I have kept the settings on high stylization for this. And now it's generating. Okay, so the prompt for this was To generate a surreal portrait of a woman with flowing hair made of galaxies and stars, use a soft, dreamlike color palette to incorporate elements of the night sky. It's kind of interesting. If you don't like it this highly stylized and you were hoping for something sort of softer, I would go back into your settings, go into low stylization and maybe low variation mode, and then go back up. Then you can dismiss the stylization. You go back into the settings here and you select stylize low, low variation mode, still keeping it on the generating fast. Make sure you're on the 6 model. You can try other models as well if you want to, but then you can dismiss the message, put that same prompt, and see what it generates. So now if we compare them, this is a little bit more of that dreamlike sort of image that I was going for in the prompt. And so you can see the difference between this and something like this. And again, if you wanted to take this one, let's say an upscale 3, we'll see what we get from that. So here you could actually be done if that's sort of the image that you want. And it's actually quite nice. I like how they've done the hair and it's sort of a dreamlike galaxies and stars. So that could be your final image if that's sort of what you were going for. The great thing about many of these image generators is the variety of applications that the images can be used for. Architectural sketches are essential for visualizing building designs and planning construction projects. So let's try a couple of those and see what Midjourney can do. For a modern home sketch, we're going to enter this prompt. Generate a detailed sketch of a modern house with clean lines, large windows, and a minimalist garden. Include floor plans and exterior views. So if we blow this up, we can see that it's generated sort of clean lines in the modern house. They've done a whole floor plan here. And this one is sort of like a number of sketches. So if you want more details, you'll have to sort of add them. Now this was still on the low stylization. And I'll go into settings again. So the variation mode is how different you want the images that it's going to generate for you. So these are slightly more detailed sketches and maybe a little bit more filled in than an actual sketch would be. So it's kind of nice to know that when you're deciding between what settings you want. If you want something that's a little bit more of a sketch, a low stylization isn't necessarily a bad thing. This looks a little bit more like an architect's sketch or this than something along the lines of this one. This one's a little too photographic or photorealist for me, whereas these still stay sort of in the realm of sketches. So if we want to sketch, let's say, of a Gothic cathedral, the prompt might be something like create a sketch of a Gothic cathedral with intricate details, tall spires, and let's say a stained glass windows. Provide both exterior and interior views. So we go over here and we've got this as a result. And let's take 2 and 4. Oh, they only did one at a time. And 4 and upscale them. So you're going to go from something like this to with a little bit more resolution and detail. And this as well. Midjourney is also really good at creating repeating patterns or tiles, which can be used for wallpaper patterns, wrapping paper, or really anywhere you want to create a repeating tile. First, come up with your idea. Let's say you want to generate geometric shapes or patterns. So our prompt might be design a seamless geometric pattern featuring interlocking hexagons and triangles in shades of blue and gold. Ensure the pattern is suitable for wallpaper tiles. Once you've typed in your idea, you need to make sure to add 2 dashes and the word tile to the end of the prompt to tell the AI that you want a seamless pattern. This is really important because if you don't add this to your prompt, then you won't get a seamless pattern. And when you take it, it won't match up. So design a seamless geometric pattern featuring interlocking hexagons and triangles in shades of blue and gold. Ensure the pattern is suitable for wallpaper tiles, dash dash tile. When you enter that, we're going to see what it generates. Now, what should happen here is that it should make a pattern and give you 4 different options with some controls at the bottom. So you can re-roll the same pattern if you don't like what you get, and that'll give you 4 new images. If this works correctly, they should all be repeating tiles. You can also upscale or try new versions. And if you don't like what the AI gives you, you can try a different prompt. Okay, so these are kind of pretty. And if you take each one of them, you can see that they would be repeating tiles if you line them up. So let's say you want to upsize 3. This is what your repeating tile pattern would look like. So let's try the same sort of thing with patterns, but just pick a different pattern that's a little bit brighter and re-enter the prompt. For this one, we're going to create a repeating floral pattern with intricate roses, lilies, and vines in a vintage color scheme. Ensure the elements blend seamlessly for fabric printing. Dash dash tile is what you're going to want to have at the end. Okay, so if you don't like any of these, you can hit this and regenerate all of the patterns. Okay, so they've really kind of kept this in the same sort of like vintage color scheme. So if you decide that you like, one of these more than others, you can have, versions of 4 redone and see what that looks like. These are all, again, seamless patterns that if you stuck them side by side, you could repeat it as much as you want. If you want better patterns, you can increase or decrease the stylization. And if you go to lower stylization, I'll show you what that looks like for these same sort of floral options. Okay, so those are sort of nice. And we'll go to settings, enter, and we'll go low stylized. And then we can dismiss that and regenerate. So I've decreased the stylization now, and let's put that same prompt in. Playing around with the stylization can be a great way to get more unique patterns or just see which settings you like best to get the images that you enjoy, whether they're for your own use or if you're using them for resale. As you can see, there are almost unlimited ways Midjourney can be used to create images. And as you practice more, the more advanced and specific you can get with the prompts. So we're going to go back and take a look at these flowers that are almost done generating, and then we're going to take a quick look at some other creative applications. So this is with lower stylization, and I actually like it better than the highly stylized one. I think because there's a little bit more um, background color, and it's not so overcrowded with the flowers. It really depends on your use case. All of these are really quite nice, and if you broke them apart, you would actually have repeating tiles. So, but I think these are my favorite out of the bunch. And if you liked one in particular, you can always upscale it, or you can get more versions of it down here. So we're going to take a look at a few other things that Midjourney can be used for, especially when you're first starting. Book cover design lets you use a prompt like design a book cover for a fantasy novel entitled The Enchanted Forest and include a mystical forest scene with hidden paths and glowing elements. Use a dark, mysterious color palette. So we're going to type in that prompt and see if we can generate a book cover. Now, these settings are still on low stylization. So when it comes up with something, you may decide that you want a little bit more stylization for something like a book cover, but it depends. Sometimes if you're putting text as well, you'll want some room on there to be able to put your book's name, author's name, things like that. Those are super pretty. I don't know if you would have to put the aspect ratio in it. And so those are getting into slightly more complicated prompts, which I will go over in a little bit. But um, the images are really nice. If you wanted something even less stylized, you could play around some more with the prompts. If you want to do something like infographics, you'd have to sort of ask the AI, create a set of infographic elements, including icons, charts, and graphs, if that's what you'd like, and use a modern flat design style with a consistent color scheme. Again, we're trying to give the AI the most information we can so that our results are as specific as possible. Okay, so here's what it came up with. And it's got a number of different options to choose from. If you don't like those, you can try on version 3 again. If you don't like the dark background, just select one of the ones that you do like. And last, let's say you want a character design. So a prompt might be something like generate a detailed character design for a sci-fi video game. The character should be a humanoid robot with a sleek metallic features and glowing blue eyes and a red bow tie. And these are all really quite nice. So these are things that you could save if you like them, or regenerate if you've got more instructions for the AI. If you want them on black backgrounds, you're going to need to specify that in your prompt. The higher tier you end up purchasing, the more quickly you're going to be able to generate images. So if you're really serious about doing this, you're probably going to want to have one of the higher tiers per month than sort of the basic tier that I chose to do these. And that will help your generation times, as this can take a little while um, to get things generated. And the other thing that you can do is, use some of these prompts on a free AI generator and try out ones that you like before you come to Midjourney. So let's see what they've. This is actually pretty good. I don't know if that patch is really in the center of his face there. Maybe it's not an eye patch. Maybe it's just how it looks. So these are lower stylization. So again, if you wanted to try very high stylized, you could dismiss this and we'll see what this brings up when we ask it to be a lot more highly stylized. Okay, so between here you can really see the differences. This is really highly stylized and quite glossy and polished. And this is a little bit more um, rough and sort of like maybe not abstract art, but not quite got the stylization or the sleekness that something like this does. So that's kind of a nice contrast. Now, in Midjourney, there are a lot more advanced prompts as you go along. A few I'm going to just cover here are generations that are easy to remember because you use a double hyphen or a dash like we did for the tiles, followed by the sort of concept that name and value. So something like dash dash chaos changes how varied the results will be, with 0 being the least varied and 100 the maximum. For an example of that, after your prompt, dash dash chaos 80 would be highly varied. And something like dash dash no would handle negative prompts, meaning you can write what you don't want to see in the image. For example, dash dash no buildings will prevent the model from drawing buildings in the image. So let's just try one of these on this prompt, and we'll go dash dash 85. So for this prompt, I've used the same robot prompt, but I've added dash dash 80 chaos 85. The chaos needs to be separate. There needs to be a space between the dashes and chaos for it to be able to read the prompt. So this is the generation with chaos added, and I think it's better than even the stylized version. It's just got a lot more differences in detail, size of the head, sort of, concepts that you could use. So knowing little prompts like this can be really useful. So I've entered the same floral prompt that we used before, but this time I've asked it to not include roses by using no roses, the dash dash no roses option. So while that generates, I'll just go over a couple other things. Dash dash AR changes the aspect ratio of the image. So this is something that you could have used for the book. AAAR dash dash AR 16 dot semicolon 9 would render the image in the 16 to 9 aspect ratio. This is something that you might want to do for a screen that you're going to be watching, like YouTube, and most screens that we have are in that aspect ratio. For something like a book, you might want to reverse it 9 semicolon 16 so that you have a portrait image instead of a landscape image. So now we go back to our prompts, and you see with no roses, they've mostly put in lilies and maybe, I don't know, maybe a daisy or something like that. But it's followed the prompt to not include a certain type of flower. So those are ways that you can limit and sort of restrict things that you do and don't want in images. And there are a lot more prompts when it comes to aspect ratios and other things. The dash dash and then the instructions is a really helpful way at the end of your prompt to sort of constrain what you do want and what you don't want out of your image. Now that we've sort of tried these out on a couple different images, I will try the AR one just so that you can see what it looks like. So for that, let's go back to this because I liked it, but I felt like it didn't really create a book cover. And at the end of this, we're going to go dash dash AR 9 to 16 to see if we can get a portrait. The other key that I found really helped me is you can also use other image generators while you're learning Midjourney, especially if you have a free plan on Leonardo AI or Perchance AI. You can just test out your prompts this way before you use up your monthly credits on Midjourney. I found this is a really good way to sort of try out different things and see sort of what I enjoyed generating and what responses I got back that I liked. You can also use the dash dash and then the instructions at the end of those as well on both of those. Some come back with better results than others, but it's important to experiment and sort of see what you get when you're typing in the prompts and what images you like that you get back, because things that I like might not be things that you enjoy. So this took it a little bit more literally in that it put a book in the image with some writing on it. One thing you might want to limit is no text because AI has trouble generating any sort of correct text in images. That's one thing that hasn't been worked out yet. So these are interesting, but the aspect ratio didn't quite work on that one. So, like I said, it's good to practice, especially if you have a AI that you can go to for image generation that's free. It's a really smart thing to practice there. I think here it's important to mention a few things about the rights to the images that you create. So, Midjourney grants their users commercial rights to the images they generate on all of the subscription tiers, whether it's the $10 a month or the 40, 60, 120, doesn't matter. This means that you can sell or use the images you create for commercial purposes. However, it's really important to note a few key points about this. You must have an active subscription at the time you create those images to have commercial rights. The rights are non exclusive, meaning Midjourney also retains the rights to use the images that you create. They're not specifically yours. There may also be limitations on how the images can be used, especially if you're using them from some sort of large scale application or in ways that compete directly with Midjourney's service. So, something like advertising your own sort of service, um, that might be seen as competition. Also, users can't claim copyright or trademark on individual images because copyright law typically requires human authorship. However, if you substantially edit or modify a Midjourney image, you might be able to claim copyright on your edited version. The key here is that the edits must be significant and original, at least original enough to constitute a new creative work. There's really no clear cut rule at this time for how much editing is enough to claim copyright. Generally, small or minor adjustments like a slight color change or cropping will not be sufficient. More substantial changes like combining multiple AI images, adding original elements, or significantly altering the composition might meet the threshold required. This area of law is still evolving, and there's ongoing debate about how copyright applies to AI generation and AI assisted works. So, users should document their editing process if they intend to claim copyright. If you plan to use edited Midjourney images commercially and claim your copyright, it's probably likely best you should consult with a legal professional on this. I'm not here to advise in any sort of capacity on that. And remember, while users can't claim copyright on raw Midjourney output, you can still have the right to use and sell these images under the terms of your subscription. The copyright issue becomes more relevant when considering protection against others using the same or similar images. Remember, if you're not in a private mode, anyone can see the prompts you used and the images you generated, and they can use those same prompts. No matter your use case, Midjourney offers a powerful platform for creating stunning visuals across a wide range of applications. By understanding how to open an account, link a Discord, and craft effective prompts, users can unlock the full potential of AI image generation. Whether you are an artist, designer, marketer, or educator, mastering the art of prompt creation can enhance your work. The examples and strategies discussed here serve as a foundation for generating high quality images that can be tailored to your specific needs. As the field of AI continues to evolve, image generation will become increasingly impressive, and it's already moving into video generation. This will drive innovation and creativity in a number of industries. I hope you learned something new in the series AI Ability. Thanks so much for tuning in.